Hey fandom, how's it going? So I'm going to be doing today a review of the JSA Geoff Johns Omnibus. The JSA Omnibus is huge. I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is over 1,000 pages thick. It is big and man, it is really fun stuff. Now, Geoff Johns is a guy that's been in the industry for a very long time, and this is really where he started to kind of cut his teeth a little bit into the industry. And he had his writing partner, David Goyer, who went on at the time to write movies like Blade, and he's worked on things such as The Dark Knight and everything like that. So what you're getting here is really quality writing. I really enjoyed this a lot. But here's the caveat. When this was first announced, people were complaining because the first 5 issues were not written by Geoff Johns and they were not going to be included in this omnibus. People complained enough and Twitter listened. The people at DC went, okay, we're going to include the first 5 issues that were basically written by James Robinson and other various writers. Because at the start of this series, it actually takes place in the 1940s and it follows the original JSA as they have to deal with this being named the Stalker. And they have to deal with him and they have to deal with basically concepts of what would happen during that time period, such as nuclear fallout, bad government, and things like that. Now, throughout the series, what you're going to be noticing is that Geoff Johns keeps expanding the team to huge levels. It really got to be a point where I was just like, holy man, you just brought in so many people. And it was just from one issue to the next where I was like, oh, wow, you brought in Power Girl into the JSA. You brought in, Plastic Man from the Justice League. He plays a part in this. There's an issue actually where they cross over with the Justice League that was really a lot of fun. It was super cool, and Geoff Johns actually balances the team dynamic between the teams, which is huge amount of characters really well. I thought, wow, this guy is really good at balancing out the team members and giving every single character their moment. There's an issue in here dealing with Wildcat that is one of my favorite issues that I've read in a long time, where basically what happens is that the newly formed Injustice Society shows up at the JSA's base and they are trying to steal something. I'm not going to give away what they're trying to steal, but they're after something in the JSA, and Wildcat, who has just been injured and is really badly hurt, and he's in a bathtub and he's talking to like this supervillain and he's just flirting with her over the phone, and they show up to the base and they're like, hey, look, we're here, we're going to beat you up. And then Wildcat goes on this whole tirade of single-handedly taking care of every single member of the Injustice Society one by one. It was huge amounts of fun, and it culminates in this moment where Wildcat basically takes out one of the members by using his motorcycle. I thought that was really cool. It's really fun, and Johns does this a lot. He focuses in on a character and a certain issue, and he fleshes them out a lot. Something that I didn't really like, though, is that, like I said, they introduce characters left and right, and some members they will leave without any context. For example, Stargirl, Star Spangled Kid, she suddenly has Starman's rod for no reason. I'm like, wait, how did she get the rod? It's never really explained, and I guess that was because it was in another issue that is not included in here. I was really disappointed at it. I'm like, oh man, come on, you could have at least given us a little bit of exposition or something that tells us, hey, this is how I got the rod. So there was a little bit of a fault in it. One thing that I really enjoyed about this is that there is an overall sense of family throughout this series. The theme here definitely does seem to be family, because a lot of the members of the JSA do have issues with their family and they play them out throughout the series. For example, Sentinel, the Green Lantern in this series, has problems with his son. His son isn't really that good of a guy. He's kind of a supervillain, but he still loves him and he still has to deal with him throughout this run. He actually plays a key role as one of the main villains in this series, and it's really interesting to see that. You also get the sense that the JSA is a family, and more like the sense of like the Justice League is basically a team where the JSA is a family. They look after each other, they go to ball games with each other, they go to hockey games with each other, and they actually show an issue in here where Plastic Man and like Jay Garrick and a few other members, they actually attend a hockey game. It's really funny stuff. It's really cool, and I really enjoyed those little character beats about it, because you're like, oh man, these guys really do care about each other. They really do like to be in each other's presence. Now, the art in this series ranges from everybody from Marcos Martin to Steven Sadowski. Most notably, Steven Sadowski plays a huge part in this, and I gotta say, not a bad member in the lot. I really enjoy this a lot. There's even an issue in here that is drawn and written by, if I'm not mistaken, by Darwin Cook, and it is awesome. I really did enjoy that. I don't think there was a bad issue in the lot, to be honest with you. And with the amount of content that you're getting in here, which is an excruciatingly huge amount, I thought that this was just perfect. I really did enjoy this a lot in that front as well. What's really great about this series also is that you see progression. You see legacy characters, they come in and out and they have to deal with the consequences of the previous character. For example, the new Dr. Midnight is different from the previous Dr. Midnight, and he's dealing with insecurities about living up to the mantle of Dr. Midnight. Geoff Johns really explores a lot of that stuff, and it's really fun, and it's really interesting concepts, and I really enjoyed that. Now, when we're talking about special features on this thing, unfortunately this does not have anything, but you gotta remember, this is clocking in over 1,100 pages. It is huge, and I really didn't expect too many special features on this, to be honest with you, because I think after pretty much any more binding and pretty much any more putting into this, any more pages, and you just get it to be unwieldy. And yes, Volume 2 is actually even bigger than this by about, I'd say about 200 pages. So you're already almost going too big for an omnibus. So with that, you're also getting in here the covers. The covers are in here, and they are in the original order that they present, you know, so they split the pages and everything like that. So they are all in where they're supposed to be. The only unfortunate thing about this thing, and truly it really kind of bugged me, was that there is no issue number with the cover. For example, you go to issue like 37 or something like that, and it won't say it's issue 37. So if you get like a really cool issue, like the one dealing with Wildcat, like I explained before, you're like, man, what issue number is that? Doesn't have it in here, unfortunately. It's not marked down. You have to look online to find it. I was like, ah, come on. It's such a minor little detail, but it's something they could have just, you know, thrown up onto the side of the page that separates it. This is a very sturdy omnibus. I am very happy with this purchase, to be honest with you. I had no problems with it except for the super tight binding on this that DC has been known for. This thing was a bear trap when I first got it, and when I laid it down on the ground, I was like, oh my gosh, don't tell me I'm going to have a problem opening this thing. However, the binding did loosen up after a while. It took about 300 pages, believe it or not, for the binding to finally crack open. And it finally got more comfortable, and I was able to open it without any issues or anything like that. The binding held together, no problems. Very solid, and it is kind of a, if I'm not mistaken, this is kind of like a glued binding. It's really good. I have no complaints about it. Held together very tightly, and I've been cracking this thing open for about a month now, no issues, and very well done production quality-wise. Here, let me take the dust jacket off so you can see what's behind it. There's that. You can see the JSA emboss. This is really cool too. Inside the dust jacket, they've got little profiles of some of the members of the JSA, so they kind of give you a little backstory and a little bit of information about them. So there's that, and there's the spine. I really enjoy that spine. That was really cool, and it matches up very nicely with the volume 2. And the back. Really good stuff here. Overall, I'm going to tell you right now that at the price that I got this for, about 75 bucks, and over 1,000 pages. You would think at over 1,000 pages, man, some of the stories can get, you know, boring. You get tired of some of the characters. I really did enjoy this. I didn't think that there was a moment where it slowed down for me. I really just kept going through it. And before I knew it, I was done with the book, and I was like, man, I cannot wait to crack open into volume 2. So I definitely recommend you check this out. This gets my stamp of approval. Definitely loved it. I really enjoyed this a lot. So with that said, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook. I'm going to put the links down below. Love to hear back from you. What are your favorite members of the JSA? And if you've made it through this video, let me know. Bye.